So here we are. We're still in Plano, Illinois. From the movie Man of Steel, better known as Smallville. In the background here, we have First State Bank. Turn this way. You got the First State Bank. So this bank is actually in the movie. But if you take a look at it, there's no building on the left and no building on the right. In the movie, in the right side of the First National Bank was a Sears store. That's the same store that near the end of the scene in Smallville that they throw a big train at Superman and he crashes into the Sears store. So they actually built the store right over this Hughes Street that is now opened up. To the left side, you see just some fencing. That is where they built a barbershop. They had a couple scenes in the movie with the barbershop. One of the scenes was when Superman tells everybody, get inside, take cover, or what have you. They actually show him going into the barbershop and locking the door. So that was just a fake building they put up just for the movie. So there you go. You got First State Bank, Plano, that was actually in the movie, and then the Sears and also the barbershop were built for the movie. Cut. All right. We're here in Plano, Illinois. This is a town that was used in the film Man of Steel, from a 2013 film starring Henry Cavill. We are here November of 2024, so this is around a little over 11 years since the film was released. In the backdrop, you might be able to see the Welcome to Smallville building with the American flag. That was definitely in the movie. Currently, we're at the location, if you look this way, where the 7-Eleven gas station was. That's where Zod and Superman first had that fight that carried over into Smallville. They crashed right through the 7-Eleven, and that's where it started. So that is now a parking lot. This was the 7-Eleven. To my right, you can see the Welcome to Smallville flag building that we talked about before. That street right in front of there is Center Street. Center Street is pretty much the end of the line of where they filmed. And then they went to the other side of the street down to, I think it's west, would be the last place. Okay, go ahead. All right. So in this scene in Man of Steel. Still in Smallville. If you can see behind me, there's this building that's got stair-step roof, and then behind that there's like an open space. In the movie itself, there was a Smallville water tower there. If you look in the movie, that really didn't exist. They superimposed that water tower, but I thought that was a cool feature, you know, to have that water tower. So this is right where that water tower was. Alrighty, thank you. Alright, so we're still here in Smallville, Plano, Illinois. This building directly behind me is the Plano Town Hall, one of the town hall. It sits right on Main Street. Main Street is the main filming for Smallville scenes in Man of Steel. If you pan this way, you'll see this parking lot. This parking lot, as we said before, is actually where the 7-Eleven was in the movie. And back on the other side, over here now, we see another parking lot. This parking lot, there was a couple, at least 2 buildings that were built. They were fake facade buildings. There was a couple of times where some of the characters were thrown into the building and crashed it. So this is the opposite side of Main Street from the First State Bank. So we'll go look up there. There's the First State Bank. All right. So let's take a trip to the iconic Kent Farm. This is actually located in Yorkville, Illinois. What we see here is the farm and the driveway up to the farm. There's a number of scenes from Man of Steel. One of the most famous ones on this driveway is when Clark comes home after learning that he has a Kryptonian family. He comes home and sees Martha on the front step. The house actually does not exist anymore. It's between those trees with the orangish color leaves. Is where it used to be. But another scene that you might remember is when Zod shows up and he harasses Martha. Fiora, she leaps into the barn to see if she can find the codex, and when she can't find it, Zod actually throws a red truck into the house. So that was one of the first times the house was actually wrecked. And one of the other scenes is when young Clark, this is near the beginning of the movie, he is sitting on a blue truck tailgate, and Jonathan comes over to talk to him about the bus crash. There's also a couple scenes from the movie Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. The one that you might remember is the funeral procession. They start showing up at the house. That's right down this driveway. And then also there's another scene in Batman v Superman where the funeral procession is walking from the back of the farm toward the field and then to the cemetery. So that's one of the scenes that we'll also be looking at. What we're seeing now is actually the back of the house, looking from the cemetery. They actually did walk from the house, back of the house, through this field to the cemetery. So yeah, this is, here you go. You got some photos of that where they're walking through the field.
and then they end up going all the way through and to the cemetery. All right, so there were about 3 or 4 scenes that were filmed at this cemetery. This cemetery does actually exist. It's the Aux Sable Grove Cemetery, and it does show exactly where the Kent family headstones were. There's also some other scenes that we can talk about. The first one is in the Man of Steel. There's a scene where Clark sees Lois at Jonathan Kent's headstone. That's the first time that they kind of meet when she realizes who he is. There's also some scenes in Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Clark Kent's funeral service is there. And you can also see where Lois is standing over his grave. And then as we're panning to the right, you might be able to see the Kent farm in the background there. That's their backyard. And then right there, you can see the cemetery archways.
All right, so I'm here on the east bank side of the Fox River. This is pretty close to the area where the bus was pulled up, or pushed up by Clark, young Clark. You can kind of see in the background that there is the actual bridge, the underneath of the bridge. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Don't know if you can see it, but there's a section of the bridge that's just a little bit different, a little bit lighter in color. That's right where the bus went over. So they actually went through that guardrail, concrete guardrail, and then replaced it with a new one. But it's just a little bit lighter in color, but just on the top half of that guardrail. Very cool. Yeah, so here on the Fox River, this is the bridge that goes over Interstate 52 near Sheridan, Illinois. This is really cool. So we're starting to get to the place where the crash occurred. They actually came on this right-hand lane. We are headed east on 52, and you might be able to see it now, possibly, where this particular wall, concrete wall, changes in color just a little bit. This is where they replaced it. So you can kind of see they replaced the wall in this little section right here. So this is where the school bus went into the water, right at this spot. Pretty cool. So we're here at one of the scenes from Man of Steel 2013. This is the scene where Superman and Fiona UI are fighting, and they end up coming across this road, which is Orchard Road, fly over and into this IHop on the right-hand side near the blue banners. They fly right over there, and then go inside the IHop and fight some more. So this is from, like I said, Man of Steel, the 2013 movie, Henry Cavill, and this is the IHop that they ended up going into. So this is actually in Aurora, Illinois, which is about 27 or so miles from Plano, Illinois. Plano, Illinois is where the actual Smallville was filmed at. So there you go, the IHop from the movie. All right, I don't know if you can hear me. This is the scene in Man of Steel where the tornado took place. So we're standing at that place. If we look east, there's a viaduct. The viaduct is where Lois and Clark took cover as Jonathan gets swept up by the tornado. So we're basically on Route 56. The overpass is Galena Road. We're close to what city we're close to? You remember? Sugar Grove, Illinois.